Today I want to share a commercial shoot with you, but I really want to talk about lenses and these new lenses coming out and everybody clamoring and, oh my God, you have to have this lens. And this shoot that I just did, this commercial shoot, is done on a 19-year-old lens. Okay, it's the Summilux. And let me clarify, I said, I use the Apo because the Summilux can't handle the 60 megapixel. Only in certain circumstances. If I'm shooting a full length head to toe and they want to zoom into a button, the Apo is going to do me better. But for 90% of the stuff that I'm shooting, and especially if you're shooting a 3/4 or something like that, the Summilux handles the 60 megapixel without an issue. So I just want to clarify that, and I should have before. But as an overall, with your lenses and you clamoring to get the best, latest, greatest Sigma or Nikon or Canon or whatever it is, this lens is literally 19 years old. Not this exact lens, but the design of it. And it hasn't changed. No design changes have been made since 2004. I use it commercially all the time, and it works perfectly. I know it seems like, oh, well, this one's going to be a slight bit faster. This one's going to be a slight bit this or that. You have to get to know your lenses, and you have to have a personal relationship with your lenses. I know that sounds odd, but you get to know a lens. You get to know what it can do, what it can't do, what its traits are, and how you can use them. And whether it's commercial or just for yourself, personal use, or Instagram or prints, it's a personal choice. Like I use a 50 millimeter lens for 90% of everything I shoot. I have the 90, I love it, I do use it. But when it comes down to it, my go-to lens is 50. I have a 35. I love that lens. I'm getting the 35 Apo in from Voigtlander. I do love that focal length, but for me, my go-to lens is 50. It just works for me. I'm comfortable with it. It may not be the right one for you. There is no right lens. There is no field of view or what the humans. It's whatever you feel comfortable shooting. But I wanted to show you this commercial shoot really quick to say, listen, shoot with what you have and make it work, and it'll work spectacularly. I'm using $250 strobes in the studio today for this commercial shoot, 2 of them. Yes, I got them on sale. That's not the point. The point is I'm using umbrellas, diffusers, and 2 $250 strobes. Okay, that's it. That's all that's here. The white backdrop, a 19-year-old lens, and a Leica camera that shouldn't be used for commercial use, which still cracks me up to this day. This camera is probably the best commercial camera I've ever used, the M11. I kid you not, I shot 450. This was a long fall lookbook shoot. I did not have one out of focus image. With the new firmware update on the M11 1.6.1, I did not have one lockup. With the Godox trigger for the Leica, I had 1 or 2 misfires, that's it. And these lights, they gave me a quirky little underexposed and very slightly underexposed once. That was it through the whole shoot. The other thing is, I tethered the camera to my iPad wirelessly through the Leica app, which is absolutely spectacular. It didn't take longer than 2 seconds to come up on the screen after each shot. One time it took a little longer, it frustrated me, it was a whole 4 seconds, but it just worked flawlessly. So, for all of you that say you can't use this for professional use, I don't care what you're using. I don't care if you're using a Fuji or whatever. It depends on your output, okay? What the final product's gonna be. There are plenty of people using Fuji camera, crop sensor camera for professional use. The medium format, spectacular. It doesn't matter, okay? But pushing these new lenses every minute, and I know they have to, this is how the companies stay in business, and God bless them, and I know there'll people be out there and buy it. But stick with your lens, enjoy it, get to know it, use it. I get, I'm gonna show you the images right out of camera and show you what they can do, because it works. It's 19 years old. So don't go clamoring because you have to have the next lens because you can't be a better photographer without it, or you can't get this image without it, or because Bob Smith has it on his camera. Enjoy what you have and use it. and make great images. Your lens and your camera can do it. The only holdback is you, not your equipment. Not, you know, if you're using a D1X from 20 years ago, maybe not, but you get my point. Anyway, enjoy the shoot. You know, at the end, I'm going to show you the last. I had one extra shoot to do on top of the commercial shoot I had, but it was just one coat and one tie. But it is a fun little ending to this whole thing, and it really shows you the quality of this lens and this camera. But anyway, enjoy the shoot. Have a great day. And if you have any questions, leave them below as always.
These commercial shoots always start off like so much fun, but once you get like 2 hours, 2.5 hours into it, you start to hurt a little bit. You know, I even take a chair to, you know, to relax and shoot these, but it does get old really quickly. Anyway, so this is a really simple setup that I showed you before, and these images are going to show you straight out of camera. You know, nothing was done to them yet. You know, obviously the color's not going to be absolutely perfect, but that's why I shoot color cards and correct later. And to have a stylus there is everything, because it saves you so much time. You know, smaller companies, sometimes they don't have a stylist. You're just there doing everything, and that gets old, you know, within a half hour. But having a stylist there, it takes a lot of the work away from you and makes life a lot easier. But these images are all the Summilux, the 19-year-old lens. These are 2 strobe lights and 2 umbrellas with diffusers over them. That's it. There's nothing special about this. It's very easy, and anybody can do this, honestly. And I don't care if you have a crop sensor camera or a full sensor camera. You know, it depends on where they're going. If they're just going into a smaller lookbook or even an 8x10 lookbook, you can get away with a crop sensor. You know, if you shoot where you don't have to crop as much, and like I said, these are straight out of camera, so, you know, this is the full image. The only thing they'll do is widen these. And there's the setup. You know, there's a fill light above my head, but I have it set a little higher because I wanted to even out the background a little bit more. And then the main light to her left and to camera right is you know, pumping a little bit more so we get some kind of definition with shadow. And it's not a lot, because remember, we have to light these close, but you still want definition below the chin, below the nose. Otherwise, everything is just going to look very flat. So anyway, that's the setup. And there's a whiteboard on you know, to the model's right. And that filled in the backdrop a little bit more than I wanted to. But it's an easy fix in post, which you know, when you're doing these kind of shots and you have this many to do, you want to do as little in post as possible. So, you know, take the time to set it up at the shoot in camera so there's nothing to do at the end other than some minor touch-ups or some minor clothing touch-ups. And here, this is the card I shoot, you know, the white balance card. I shoot the color side and I shoot the gray side. And I do this throughout. You know, I probably did it 4 times throughout this for each hour kind of a thing, just in case the lights change or something changes. I'm set and, you know, I have these color charts to go back to. Anyway, the shoot was a lot of fun, and I had this final shoot for another company. They're just doing a banner with this. It's their logo kind of thing. And I just wanted to show you the quality of this, you know, lens and what it can do, because it's absolutely spectacular. And this lighting setup is spectacular. And it's easy. You know, there's no major working parts here. It's just main light, fill light, you know, white card. That's it. And, you know, the image quality is just spectacular with a 19-year-old lens. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the shoot. If you have any questions, leave them below. I'll be glad to answer them.